Hi, my name is Dawn. This is my son Richard and his daughter. When Richard was a little boy, he always wanted to be in the Army. And here he is as a little boy. And here he is again in the Army. This is when he graduated, and his daughter is standing there posing with him with her G.I. Joe outfit and her G.I. Joe doll. This is what Richard looked like when he joined the Army. I'm going to read to you something I wrote, memory of my son, and I hope and pray that you'll listen through the whole thing. My name is Dawn, and I have at least 4 children. I'm placing this on YouTube video, that I'm placing it on YouTube so that you can watch this, and I'm placing it on it in memory of one of my sons who recently passed away. His name was Richard Lee Chris Jr., better known as Ricky. Born on April 8th, 1983. Ricky was a challenge when he was little. He was cranky and he did not like to be held when being fed. He could not ride in a car and eat fast food at the same time. Just no way, unless you want a projectile vomiting. Motion sick, I don't know what it was, but anyway. Ricky often had arguments with his brothers and sisters. This thankfully would be over just as quick as it started, because Ricky did not enjoy being challenged. He always thought of himself as capable of doing anything, including winning any arguments that he was in. He should have known the tenacity of his brothers, though, so, oh well. As a teen, he met a sweetheart who lived next door to us. Ricky was in love with this girl, and she was with him, and they were 14 when they met. As adults, the 2 sweethearts became parents to a beautiful daughter, and so they both decided it was time to get married. After the marriage, Ricky's brother enlisted into the Army, and soon Ricky followed in his tracks. Ricky believed he could give his family a better life, a more stable life. Ricky also believed that he had a duty to his country and to the freedom for which our great nation was founded on. He wanted to make a difference, to stand up for his country, and to take back what Osama bin Laden tried and hoped to steal from us: our strength, our pride, and our freedom. Ricky served only 9 months of his 2 years in Iraq. A blast from his bunker blew up a propane tank next to him. He was injured in the blast and also lost a fellow soldier who was next to him. Ricky stayed in the bunker for almost 24 hours, breathing in the propane and suffering from a fractured skull at the base of his neck and head. He survived the blast but was left with disabilities: the fracture in the skull, the burnt sinus cavities from the propane, headaches, nightmares, a dissociated personality, in fear for his life, and depression and suicide. He returned back to base to recuperate and to America, and then was to return to active duty once he recovered. He never would recover from this, though. His wife and daughter welcomed a stranger back home. Instead of a husband and a father, they found a complete stranger. Ricky was irritable, irrational, suspicious of everyone, nightmares, and full-blown depression. Ricky was being treated for his headaches and sinus burns only. He was not being treated for his post-traumatic stress disorder. In fact, Ricky did not even know that he had this and what was wrong with him, because this is not, or was not, a medical condition, and so was not recognized by the military as a medical condition. Ricky went AWOL. He deserted his army, his wife, his child, his family. He became a stranger to everyone that he knew. Ricky would stop by sometimes to ask for money or try and find pills because his headaches were so bad. If he could not get pills, he would smoke pot. Finally, after a year, his father convinced him to seek help, that he could not live like this anymore, and if he wanted to be the person he used to be, he had to get help. Ricky found a psychiatrist who would treat him, and he started therapy with this doctor. He realized with the doctor's help that he had post-traumatic stress disorder and that the best way to overcome this is to face it head on. Ricky returned to the Army and served out his last 6 months under arrest. He wore an ankle bracelet and was on a suicide watch. The Army was treating him for post-traumatic stress disorder when they released him under other, instead of medical or honorable discharge. Now mind you, he had a fractured skull and burnt sinuses, but they still released him as other. He told me that he was told by the Army that he would continue to get the medical help he needed from the VA. Upon releasing him, Ricky returned to stay with his father and brother and continued to file paper after paper from the VA to get his medical benefits and his discharge ruling changed from other to honorable. A half a year before his death, Richard was starting to be treated for his post-traumatic stress disorder. The speech that President Obama made that stated mild traumatic head injuries and post-traumatic stress disorder should be considered as related was a changing point for Richard. Richard no longer had the fight in him, though. The nightmares, headaches, nausea, vomiting, and the fear. The last 6 months of my son's life were filled with so much fear. He was positive someone was out to get him. He carried a gun with him all the time. He thought he was being singled out and isolated from people that he loved and who loved him. He thought that the town was after him. Ricky decided to become a donor and signed up. He did not want to die disappointing his loved ones, nor die without giving something in return. My son decided to be a hero one last time. He took his life on August 27, 2013. He held a single shotgun to his head and pulled the trigger. He left behind his ex-wife, the love of his life, and a beautiful 11-year-old daughter, one sister, 2 brothers, tons of cousins, aunts, uncles, nephews, and nieces. He gave up his life so 7 people could live theirs. I'm very sad my son is gone, and I feel so much lost without him. My pain feels so unbearable at times. But then I walk past my dresser with this picture, and I see it sitting there on the dresser, and I know he is happy because he knows. And I know he did not want to die in vain. He wanted to make something of his life. I wrote a small short poem for my son, and I hope you stay and listen to it. We raised this little boy to become a man, to save this country, to save his land. He fought for what Americans believe. Let truth, liberty, and freedom ring. So many of our nation's best gave their life to keep you safe, willing to die for all Americans. Their sacrifice, please don't regret. There's no more pain. You're in the Lord's grace. No more running from some unseen face. Your fears for safety no longer exist. Your soul is at rest from Satan's grip. My son's ashes sit on a shelf in a mortuary in Detroit. We had to cremate him because he did not serve his 2 years in the Army, and they will not pay for his burial nor for the cremation. I hope and pray as you finish this video that you'll share this with others. Post it on your Facebook and share, please. It's my way, and I hope the American people's way, of saying thank you to all the soldiers for caring about their nation so much that they would give their life up for its people. May God bless America, the land of the free. Now that your young soldier is home, male or female, make them seek help anyway for post-traumatic stress disorder. Because I believe, and I know probably thousands of millions of people believe, that you can get it even without having a head trauma. Just witnessing something terrible can cause it. But please share this. I miss you, Ricky. I'm just getting on my laptop and getting on Facebook, and you pop up a little thing saying, "Hey Mom, what you doing?" And I'll say, "Nothing, just playing a game. You got time to talk for a minute?" And I'll say, "Yes. What's up?" "I'm getting tired of this, Mom. I don't know how much more I can take."